Mental imagery is a powerful tool that shapes the course of our lives, and it holds the key to creating the reality we desire. Every thought, every image you form in your mind has the potential to manifest in the physical world. Imagine vividly in your mind's eye the exact scenario you wish to experience. In the case of him calling or texting you instantly, picture the moment as clearly as you can. See your phone lighting up with his name on the screen, or hear the familiar sound of a call coming through. The clearer the image, the more intense and real it becomes to you, and the stronger the signal you send to the universe. The mind doesn't distinguish between what is imagined and what is real. When you vividly imagine someone reaching out to you, the mind experiences it as if it is actually happening. This is not mere fantasy or wishful thinking. It is a deliberate, creative act of constructing your reality. By persistently visualizing and deeply feeling that he is already calling or texting you, you impress your subconscious with the belief that it is a certainty. The subconscious mind, once impressed with this assumption, begins to bring this image into reality by influencing your actions, reactions, and circumstances. Think of the mind as fertile soil. Every thought, every image you plant within it will eventually take root and grow into something tangible. If you consistently imagine him calling or texting you, those images begin to grow into physical manifestations. The more detailed and focused your mental imagery, the more powerful its effect. You might see the exact words he would say, hear the tone of his voice, feel the excitement or joy of receiving that message. The more senses you engage, the more real it becomes. It is crucial to realize that this mental imagery is not about forcing an outcome or trying to control the future. It is about aligning yourself with a high truth, one where you have already experienced the outcome you desire. When you picture yourself receiving the call or text, you are aligning yourself with the frequency of that event, and the world around you will naturally shift to match it. Your imagination is a tool for creation, and by mastering it, you can create the life you wish to live. This process doesn't require external validation or permission. The act of imagining and feeling is a personal and intimate one. You are the creator of your own reality, and through your mental imagery, you lay the foundation for that reality to take shape. When you see yourself receiving that call or text in your mind, you are not waiting for something to happen. You are creating it. The more real it feels in your imagination, the more quickly it will become real in the external world. The power lies in your ability to sustain this mental image with unwavering belief and feeling, knowing that your imagination is not separate from reality. It is the very force that shapes it. The power of assumption is one of the most profound principles that governs the creation of reality. Assumption, in this context, refers to the act of assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled and living in that assumption as though it has already come to pass. When you assume something is true, particularly something you desire, it creates a state of being in which that assumption begins to shape your experience. The key to this power lies not just in thinking or hoping for something, but in truly believing that it is already a present fact. When you assume that he will call or text you instantly, you are not waiting for the event to occur before you believe it. Instead, you take on the assumption that it has already happened. You live in the end result, feeling as though it is happening right now. This act of assuming may seem simple, but it is deeply transformative. It creates an energetic shift within you, aligning your thoughts, emotions, and actions with the outcome you desire. In the same way that a seed, once planted, will naturally grow and blossom when nurtured, your assumption will begin to draw the desired experience to you. The assumption works because it taps into the subconscious mind, which is the creative force behind all of our experiences. The subconscious cannot differentiate between what is real and what is imagined. So, when you assume something to be true, it accepts that assumption as fact and begins to bring it into your reality. Your subconscious mind responds to the feeling of your wish fulfilled, whether it's a call, a text, or any other desire, and it begins to orchestrate the circumstances that will bring this assumption into manifestation. What's important to realize is that the power of assumption works regardless of the circumstances. It does not require external evidence, logic, or reasoning. In fact, the more detached you become from the need for external validation, the more powerful your assumption becomes. If you constantly check your phone, wondering whether he will call or text, You are sending a signal to the universe that you are not truly assuming the call is already on its way. You are still in a state of lack, waiting for the external world to change. However, when you assume that the call or message is already yours, your energy shifts, and your assumption becomes the driving force behind your reality. In assuming that he will reach out to you instantly, you create a mental and emotional environment where that outcome is inevitable. You no longer worry about how or when it will happen, because in your mind it has already happened. This assumption transforms your energy and vibration, and you begin to radiate a confidence that attracts the desired event. You are no longer in a state of lack or longing. Instead, you embody the feeling of already having what you want. And this subtle but powerful shift invites the corresponding physical experience into your life. The power of assumption is also deeply connected to the law of attraction. When you assume something, you begin to vibrate at the frequency of that assumption. This vibration sends a clear message to the universe, aligning external events and circumstances to match the frequency of your assumption. Therefore, assuming that he will call or text you instantly is not simply about hoping or wishing. It's about creating the energetic conditions in which that event becomes inevitable. Your assumption becomes the magnet that draws that experience to you. Feeling is the secret, because it is through emotion that we connect deeply with our desires and bring them into our reality. Thoughts alone do not have the same transformative power that feelings do. When you think about receiving the call or text you desire, you may have a mental image of it, but it's the feeling behind that image that truly propels the manifestation into your experience. It is the feeling that sends the signal to the universe that you are aligned with what you want, and it is the feeling that activates the subconscious mind to create the circumstances necessary for that desire to materialize. The mind is like a magnet, and feelings are the charge that give it power. When you feel the joy, excitement, or even relief of receiving the call or text you want, you are creating a magnetic force that pulls that experience toward you. This is why it's not enough to merely think about what you want. You must feel it with all your heart, as if it is already happening. The stronger and more genuine the feeling, the more real it becomes. In fact, feeling is the key to turning any desire into a tangible experience. The emotional connection to your desire acts as a bridge between the mental world of thought and the physical world of manifestation. When you feel the satisfaction of already receiving what you want, your body and mind align with that reality, and the physical world begins to shift in response to that alignment. The more intense the feeling of already having your desire, the more rapidly it will appear in your reality. It's not just about thinking, he will call or text me. It's about feeling the joy and excitement that would come with that call or text, feeling as though you are already basking in the emotion of that moment. Feelings are the language of the subconscious mind, and it is the subconscious mind that governs our experiences. When you feel as though the call or text has already happened, you impress that feeling upon your subconscious. The subconscious mind does not differentiate between real and imagined feelings. It reacts to the feeling itself. So when you feel the rush of happiness upon receiving the message, the subconscious mind takes that as a signal that it is true, and it begins to work behind the scenes to bring that experience to fruition. The key to feeling is authenticity. Don't try to fake the feeling, let it come naturally. Whether you feel the warmth in your chest, a sense of relief, or a flutter of excitement, allow those emotions to rise naturally as you picture your desire being fulfilled. Trust in the power of your feelings and allow them to guide you into a state of belief that the desired outcome is not something in the future, but something happening right now. The feeling also establishes the emotional frequency that resonates with the universe. Everything in existence vibrates at a frequency, including your desires. When you align your emotional state with the desired outcome, you are essentially tuning yourself to the frequency of that outcome. This alignment sends out a powerful vibration into the world, one that draws the desired experience toward you. When you feel the call or message as though it is already yours, the universe begins to rearrange circumstances, people, and events to bring that desire into physical form. Yes. This is the power of feeling. It connects your inner world with the outer world in ways that thoughts alone cannot. Through feeling, you create a reality that is shaped by your emotions. And the more intensely you can feel, the more quickly your desires come into being. Feeling is the bridge between the unseen world of thought and the physical world of manifestation. It is through feeling that you truly bring your desires to life. Living in the end means experiencing the feeling of your desire fulfilled in the present moment, rather than waiting for the external world to catch up with your thoughts. It is the practice of mentally and emotionally placing yourself in the end result of your wish, not as a distant future event, but as a current reality. In the context of wanting him to call or text you instantly, living in the end means you fully immerse yourself in the experience of already receiving that message. You act, feel, and think as though the call has already happened. When you live in the end, you do not wait for the phone to ring to feel the joy, excitement, or satisfaction of receiving that call. Instead, you begin to feel those emotions right now, even before the event occurs in the physical world. It is about embodying the feeling of having what you want right in this very moment. This practice transforms the desire from something external that you hope will come to you into something that already exists within your consciousness. Living in the end shifts your entire approach to your desire. Instead of focusing on the lack of the call or text, you focus on the feeling of having it. By mentally placing yourself in the end result, you are telling your subconscious that this is already part of your reality, and your subconscious, the work to bring this belief into the physical world. The key to this process is to persist in the feeling of the end result, no matter what external circumstances might suggest. When you live in the end, you do not focus on how or when the desire will materialize. Instead, you trust that it is already unfolding in ways that are beyond your current understanding. This eliminates any need for doubt, anxiety, or worry, because you are already anchored in the belief that your desire has been fulfilled. Your actions and thoughts are aligned with that assumption, and the physical world begins to rearrange itself to match your inner conviction. Living in the end requires you to detach from the idea of time and space as limitations. Time becomes irrelevant when you assume that your desire is already here. The moment you assume it is done, the universe begins to make it so. You are no longer caught up in the question of when or how. You are simply present with the knowing that it has already happened. This alignment with the end result creates a powerful magnetic force that draws the fulfillment of your desire into your life effortlessly. The beauty of living in the end is that it allows you to experience the emotions associated with your desire now, which in turn aligns you with the frequency of your desire. If you can feel the happiness, relief, or excitement of already receiving the call or message, you are resonating at the frequency of that event. The universe responds to your emotional state and begins to bring you the experiences that match the feeling you are embodying. By living in the end, you create the emotional environment that makes the fulfillment of your desire inevitable. Living in the end also strengthens your belief in your own creative power. By mentally and emotionally assuming the end result, you take full ownership of your desire and its fulfillment. You stop looking outside of yourself for validation, and instead look within, knowing that your inner world is the true creator of your outer experience. The more you practice living in the end, the more natural it becomes to assume that your desires are already realized, and the faster they begin to manifest in the world around you. Persistence is one of the most vital qualities when it comes to manifesting your desires, particularly when it involves something like receiving a call or text from someone. To be persistent means to hold firmly to your desire, regardless of what your current reality shows you. It is the act of continuously assuming that your wish is already fulfilled and refusing to waver in that belief. The external world may present evidence to the contrary, but your inner world, your thoughts, feelings, and assumptions must remain steadfast in the belief that it is already done. This persistence is what allows your desire to become your reality. When you are persistent in your thoughts and assumptions, you are consistently reaffirming to your subconscious mind that your desire is already manifesting. The subconscious does not respond to superficial wishes or fleeting thoughts. It responds to deep, consistent beliefs and feelings. To manifest that instant call or text, you must persist in the assumption that it is already yours, even if you do not yet see any physical evidence. Every time doubt or fear arises, you must reaffirm your belief that the call or message is on its way, and this persistent assumption strengthens your creation. Persistence is not about forcing something into being or becoming anxious over the lack of progress. It is about the unwavering confidence that your desire is already fulfilled. You must maintain the state of mind where the call or text has already happened, and keep revisiting that state as often as necessary. If you think about it, persistence in manifestation is no different than building a habit or a skill. It requires repetition and a continuous focus on the end result. Every time you find yourself in doubt or thinking contrary to your desire, return to the feeling and assumption that your wish is fulfilled, and let that thought become your dominant one. This persistent mindset can be compared to an artist who works on their craft every day, even when the finished masterpiece is not immediately visible. The artist does not give up halfway through the process because the painting is not yet complete. Similarly, in manifestation, your persistence is what keeps you aligned with the outcome, even when it may not yet be physically visible. It's about maintaining faith in the unseen process and knowing that just like an artist who continues to paint, your persistent assumption will eventually bring the desired outcome into clear focus. Furthermore, persistence is the key to overcoming any distractions or negative emotions that may arise. It is easy to be swayed by the current circumstances, especially when there's no immediate evidence that your desires are on their way. However, persistent individuals do not give up when challenges or doubts appear. They recognize these distractions as temporary and continue to hold the assumption that what they desire is already there. With this persistence, you start to build an emotional and mental momentum that draws your desire closer to you, making the manifestation inevitable. Persistence is also about being patient with the process. It's about understanding that the unfolding of your desire may take some time to align with your inner assumptions. You may not see an immediate shift in your reality, but every persistent assumption, every moment of maintaining your belief is like adding another brick to the foundation that will soon support the manifestation. The key is not to lose heart in the process, because persistence, more than anything, is what turns the invisible into the visible. The law of assumed identity revolves around the powerful principle that who you believe yourself to be directly influences the reality you experience. This law suggests that in order to manifest a desire, whether it's receiving a call or text or any other wish, you must fully adopt the identity of the person who already has that desire fulfilled. It is not enough to simply wish for something or hope that it will happen. You must assume the identity of the person who already has what they want, and from that position, everything in your world will begin to align with that assumption. When you assume the identity of someone who already has their desire, you align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with the outcome as if it has already come to pass. For example, if you want him to call or text you instantly, you must begin to see yourself as the person who already receives that call or message. You must identify yourself with the version of you that experiences the joy and satisfaction of receiving the communication. It is not just a matter of wanting it, but of becoming it. The power of assumed identity lies in the subconscious mind's inability to differentiate between what is real and what is imagined. When you assume the identity of the person who has already received the call or text, your subconscious mind takes this assumption as fact and begins to work in harmony with your conscious beliefs. This assumption impresses upon your subconscious the belief that it is true, and as a result, your external world begins to shift in alignment with this new identity. By assuming the identity of the person who already has their desire, you begin to change your vibration. You no longer act from a place of lack, waiting for something to happen. Instead, you act from the standpoint of abundance, confidence, and fulfillment. You no longer need to worry about when or how the desired event will manifest, because in your mind and in your emotional state, it already has. This sense of inner fulfillment and alignment with your desire draws your external world closer to matching your inner state. Living from the assumption of your desired identity also changes how you respond to circumstances and situations in your life. When you assume the identity of someone who has already received the call or message, you stop reacting to the outer world as if you're still waiting for it to happen. Instead, you walk through your day with the certainty that your wish has already been fulfilled. This shift in perception alters your energy and attitude, which naturally influences the people and events around you. Your identity shapes how you show up in the world. And when you align yourself with the desired outcome, the world around you starts reflecting that assumption. Furthermore, the law of assumed identity calls for a deep level of self-trust. You must trust that by assuming the identity of someone who already has what they want, you are not forcing an outcome, but rather aligning with the truth of what you desire. The more consistently you embody this new identity, the more natural it becomes, and the more easily your desire manifests. The universe responds to your confidence and inner belief, and it begins to bring your assumptions to life. In essence, the law of assumed identity teaches you that you are not waiting for something to happen to you. You are becoming the version of yourself who already has what you desire. When you fully step into that identity, your thoughts, feelings, and actions naturally reflect the reality you seek, and this alignment is what makes the manifestation process both effortless and inevitable. In conclusion, the power to manifest your desires lies within you through the use of mental imagery, assumption, feeling, persistence, and living in the end. By aligning with the desired outcome and assuming the identity of someone who already possesses what they want, you shape your reality from the inside out. Each thought, feeling, and belief you hold becomes a force that influences the world around you, drawing your desires closer. With unwavering faith and the practice of living from the end result, you create the circumstances necessary to make your deepest wishes a living reality.